Hello, hello, my lovely, lovely dishes. Today is Wellness Wednesday, rebuilding from within. So, I'm going to cover something that's going to help you stay motivated to be on your way to good health. Step one is to dance like nobody's watching. Now, a lot of people don't take the opportunity to dance much, right? Because they say, I don't know how to dance, or I don't like to dance. People make fun of me, blah, blah, blah. I don't have rhythm. Scratch that, okay? Get your favorite records out, your favorite music, MP3, CD, cassette, 8-track, it don't matter. Just turn it on and boogie on down. It's a great exercise, okay? And when you dance, something magical happens. Now, I studied dance for many, many years. I was studying to be a dancer on Broadway. And every time I went to a dance class, or I learned a new style of dance, or I just hung out on the corner with my friends in Brooklyn and we would hustle and dance on the streets, we always felt really uplifted afterwards. It was fun. We laughed, we kid around, we joked. We always had a good time. And one of the practices, like even after I stopped my dance career, I still danced as much as I could wherever I could. And I couldn't dance the way I would normally dance. So I started to learn how to dance limited so that I could still dance and still enjoy myself without like hurting my spine. So if you find that you love to dance, but you can't dance like you used to, then get yourself in a aerobics class in the pool and work out and do it there. I find that water alleviates the stress on the body. It helps you work out without straining the muscles. Because I find like if I do crunches on land, I'm like, oh, my back. But if I do crunches in the pool, I don't feel it the next day. So if you're in that situation, think about substituting and finding another way to do it. But dancing is going to help you burn calories without even thinking about it because it's so much fun. And it's also going to boost those endorphins, right? Because then you're going to be like, woohoo, I feel good. And you feel like you can accomplish anything you set your mind to. So that's what's amazing about endorphins. And that's why I find it's really important to stick to some kind of schedule to work out. And even if you just go for power walk, it's going to lift your spirits, okay? You're going to see some pretty things along the way, and you're going to get that endorphin going. And as I just mentioned, take a 10-minute power walk, okay? If you could do it in the morning before you start your day, or if you could do it on your lunch hour, or if you're going to do it after work, but try to get those 10 minutes in a day. And if it's just a walk around the block, or walk to the corner, walk back down, and do it 10 times. Walk on your patio back and forth like a caged animal. Who cares? Just get the walk in and get the power of that feeling of you think clearer, you may have an idea pop into your mind or a solution to a problem that you've been having. Walking does a couple different things. A, you're getting that oxygen into your brain, right? Because it's like we breathe very shallow. If we get stressed out, it's like you're almost holding your breath. I know I do it all the time. And I have to be like, yeah, breathe. When I play my drums, I do the same thing. I have to say, don't worry, you're not breathing. I have to breathe so I can keep the pace going because drumming is a very physical job, and if you're not breathing properly, it'll it'll show up, trust me. So you want to be able to breathe in that oxygen. If you're not taking deep breaths, then take a 5-minute siesta and then just breathe. Go to the bathroom and breathe. If you have to lock the door, I'm out of commission for 5 minutes because you're going to take a breathing session. Okay. Call it whatever you want. If you're having trouble, you can also try chair yoga steps. Step number 3. If I can speak, it would be very helpful. Step number 3 is to try chair yoga. If you haven't tried it, it's amazing because, again, if you're having any kind of issues with your spine, this is a great way to do it safely and still get the benefits of toning and stretching your body. Step number 4 is that I like using light weights to gain some resistance training because we do have to keep our muscles going. And the only way to do that is with resistance, right? So that's another reason why I like the pool. You could use your body weight as your resistance. And that's what I do in the pool. I do a lot of different exercises. So I do everything for my neck, for my shoulders, for my back, for my arms, for my legs, for my stomach. If you don't have a pool, look for a gym in your area that has a pool. And there's not many out there. I know LA Fitness does usually have a pool. So if you have LA Fitnesses, the other one is the Equinox, I think. They also have pools. If you're in New York Health and Racquet Club used to have a pool. I don't know if they still do or not, but it's an option. Now, you may say, oh, I don't want to spend all that money on the gym. So just do it during the winter. And then you could go use the beaches in the summers if you live near a beach or the lakes or what have you. But at least you can get those first few dismal months where it gets, dark and dreary in the winter, you can still work out. Plus, when you're working out at the gym, you can meet more people. And if you're networking for business opportunities, that's a great place to meet people. But think about maybe picking up a set of resistance bands or like 2 pound dumbbells that you can be sitting there watching TV and just do an arm curl or raising it above your head, to strengthen your shoulders and your arms and things like that. And with the resistance bands, you can do them at home. You can pick them up at that store Five Below for $5 or something like that, very inexpensively, so you have no excuses. Okay. Keep your little home gym going and work out while you're watching TV because we spend a lot of time sitting down and we have to keep the blood flow, right? Because the worst thing we could do is just sit down all day and not walk and not move. And I realized that when I moved from New York City, moved to Florida when I was 43, like 6 years later, I started to gain weight and I was like, what's going on? And I realized it's because I wasn't walking. In New York City, I probably walked 8 miles a day without blinking an eye between just in the buildings I worked at, whether it was with Clinique or the NHL, going up and down from one flight to another and this office to that office, and then taking the stairs to the train, to the bus, to the this, walking to the train station, walking back to the train. I mean, it was constant walking. And then I moved to Florida and it was drive, 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 and there was no walking. There's no sidewalks to walk on. I'm like, where's the sidewalks? And the only way you could find it is if you go into the city, downtown St. Pete, or if you go into the downtown Tampa where they actually, have restaurants and stuff like that that you can walk around. But it's not really a walking city per se. So that's why they came out with the city river walk, right? So that you could actually get some walking in there. But another great thing to do is, if you can, is take a bicycle out. If you can't, go for walks anywhere, maybe you can take your bike in your car and go to a park and with the kids and make it a family affair, but get some exercise and make them get to exercise because it's important to also teach your children these things because today's world with kids, there's a lot of computer stuff going on. They're not getting the exercise that like when I grew up as a kid, we were out playing all day and we were exhausted at night, and we were constantly running and playing sports. So we were very active. And a lot of kids today, they're not as active as they once were. So it's nice to take them out on a bike ride and you get to spend some good quality family time together, but you're also teaching them exercise and they're going to feel good too after they ride. So if they have any bouts with, emotion, a good bike ride can help them clear their minds too. And last but not least, step number 5 is to track your progress. It's going to motivate you to keep going, right? Because what you track grows. What you don't track doesn't. So if you want to make more money, right, you got to track. I made some money today with this client, and I made some money today with this client, and I did this, and I made some money here. And so you could say, oh, look, it's growing, but if you don't track it, you won't know. You'll be like, oh yeah, I made some money, but I don't know what I made. But if you can track everything and track your progress, let's say you worked out 3 days this week, and maybe next week you work out 4 days, and maybe the week after you work out five. I like working out 5 days a week and having 2 days off. That's just the way I work. Sometimes I work out 7 days a week. Depends on how stressed out I am because I might need to work out and just de-stress. I find it's a great way to do that. So if you're feeling really bottled up and stressed and overwhelmed, it may be because you're not getting any kind of release, and a workout can help you release that. I love kickboxing classes. I don't take them, but I love watching people do it because I feel like it looks like a great way to, get a lot of tension released, and especially if you're angry with somebody, it's a great thing to do instead of, taking it out on them. You could take it out on the punching bag. All right, my lovely dishes. If you haven't joined us already at the Facebook group, please join us over at facebook.com/groups/dish it with Dawn. If you like this episode, just share it with somebody. You can get the value out of it as well. And remember to dish it out well and dish it out good, but make sure you're looking damn good when you do. Ciao for now.